Well, something's definitely not right here. Colors are all wrong and I can't move. I may need to reset. Look, I know this game is glitchy, but never seen this before. Okay, it's looking more normal now, yep. Let's get Charmander, rival fight. What's a 9? How's it poisoned? How's it asleep? Let's go to the Pokemon Okay. Switch what? Sure, I guess. What the glitchy hell is this? Welcome to something I've wanted to do for years, but have only just done any of this for the first time in this video. This is the Gen 1 glitch run. As you can see from the start, I've had a play around with the SRAM glitch. Basically, by hard resetting the game on the 20th frame after pressing yes on the save menu, which is also the 7th after the game switches to now saving, and trust me on this, I did this trick frame by frame with an emulator paused just so I could get it consistently. Otherwise it can destroy the file data, which isn't what we want. Anyway, it saves in a buggy as hell state and allows for the Pokemon menu to be accessed and switch glitched Pokemon around to slots beneath the 6th, allowing us to access an expanded item bag which lets us do everything you just saw and this. Changing the first Pokemon to the 10th slot seems to stabilize this enough to have a little bit of fun. The 36th slot in this expanded item bag is a Master Ball, and with this we are able to change the warp point of the tiles in Ash's mum's house. Dropping exactly 138 of these allows us to beat the game in a time quicker than we thought possible as children. If you do get this in a time of 0.00, you hold a joint world record, congratulations! The only rule aside from no items in battle is glitched Pokemon only in battle for this run. Some non-glitched Pokemon will be required for setups, but as unfortunate as that is, it is what it is. Man, I said is a lot then. Okay, it's time for some real fun now. By going to Oak's Lab and getting Charmander, then using a variation on the SRAM glitch to save it with Charmander in your party, then starting a new game, we now have a glitched Charmander in our party. It says we have no Pokemon, but we actually do. So, I wasn't thinking when I went to go get the non-glitch starter, so meet Pale P, the Charmander who's getting released because he's not glitched. I noticed fighting the rival as well, the glitched Charmander acts as a trade Pokemon, gaining boosted EXP. Heading over to Viridian Forest to start the next glitch, we need to get Charmander poisoned, and then on the mandatory trainer fight tile in the forest, we need a wild encounter to trigger. Charmander then needs to faint to the wild Pokemon. This is the earliest time we can do any type of variation on a trainer flag glitch, which allows us for heaps of different Pokemon to appear. Going back to the first rival fight and losing to his Squirtle, if we head back to Viridian Forest, we meet the next member of our team, Gengar. If I'd used Growl on Squirtle and it had hit 6 times, this Gengar would be at level 1 right now, which would be easy enough to glitch to level 100. But level 100 Gengar kinda makes this video boring. Anyway, Trainer Fly is going to be the main way to get our next Pokemon each time. This trick's going to be altered slightly, which I'm very excited about. Heading to Pewter City, and even with a relatively low level Gengar, Brock doesn't know what hit him. Except, I was watching Dragon Ball Super and not paying attention as I was doing this. Didn't realize Onyx had used Bite and lost the first fight. Yeah, lesson learned there. Second time was an easy win because I'm paying half an ounce of attention to Pokemon instead of Goku. Look, there's Goku, he's going Ultra Instinct. Misty is about as easy as Brock, except for when she uses Bubble Beam twice in a row and knocks Gengar out. But a 2-try win nonetheless. And now it's time for us to get our next Pokemon. And I wasn't really sure what this Pokemon was going to be. But for this we need to head up Nugget Bridge and then catch an Abra. Just how Kadabra and Alakazam are overpowered in Generation 1, so is Abra, but for glitches. So, this is the next setup for the Trainer Flag glitch. Abra knows the move Teleport, as I'm sure you're aware. Anywhere in the overworld, I can use this to teleport to the nearest Pokemon Center. From here on out for trainer fly glitches, there is one more requirement, and that is that it's a long-range trainer. This basically means as soon as you enter the screen, the trainer notices you and it starts the battle. But Generation 1 Pokemon, these trainers have a 1-frame buffer facing south, allowing you to press pause and use Abra to teleport. Finishing this version by defeating any trainer that moves towards you, otherwise soft locks can occur because the code's looking for the movement that doesn't activate. Heading back towards where we caught Abra and oh my god, it's Nidoqueen! Yeah, this is going to be so much more fun now. So the third rival fight is really easy, and same with Surge because we have glitched Pokemon, which will become a theme. I'm teaching the move Thunderbolt to Ganaga. Ganaga. Yep, that's it. Forever going to be his name now is Ganaga. But with beating Surge as well, we also have the first part of the next step to getting our next glitch Pokemon, the Thunder Badge. So I'm going to go get a long shopping list of items, fly, a Pidgey, a Pokédoll, Ice Beam, stop through Saffron City and get Psychic, which I'm not teaching just yet, but I have ideas for, to head back to the Gambler to perform the next trainer fly glitch. Flying back to Cerulean City and fighting this trainer with a Slowpoke. Then upon flying back to Lavender Town and closing the menu that randomly opens, we get Mew. The legendary 151st Pokemon is our next member of the team. Also, while I was here, I went to the Pokemon Tower to fight the rival and get the Pokeflute from Mr. Fuji, which gives us perfect time to use the Pokédoll to avoid the Marowak battle, glitching the game, albeit minorly this time. Again. For the next Pokemon I want to look at getting, I need to beat Koga first to be able to use Surf outside of battle. And once again with the glitch team, this is so easy, especially with Mew, Gengar and Nidoqueen. Go to the Safari Zone to get the Teeth and Surf, fly back to Pallet Town, then head over to Cinnabar Island quickly to unlock it, then fly back to Viridian City. And if you haven't noticed my name at this point, that's important for the next glitch. If you don't know what's coming, welcome to the Old Man Glitch. This old man teaches you how to catch Pokemon after being passed out in the roadway before getting Oak's parcel, and let's face it, we all know by now he was drunk. But I digress. When Old Mate shows you how to catch Pokemon, his name replaces with your name in memory, and your name gets moved to Pokemon data. If you fly straight from here to Cinnabar Island and surf on the right hand side, because of how these encounters are programmed on these tiles, you can get glitch Pokemon. Like our next few team members. Meet Missing Note, arguably the most famous glitch Pokemon. And also if you notice, due to this glitch, my sprites are going to be super glitchy. And my opponents are going to be mirrored. Also, I don't know how or why, but it did fix itself. But Pidgeotto, you good there? While surfing here, and I didn't realize I'd managed to do this, I encountered Professor Oak and he had level 111 Pokemon on his team. I tried to fight him, but was hoping to save this battle until the end, but this isn't the only team that I got him to spawn with. Back to the Safari Zone here because I wanted a Pokemon from there, so headed in, then left immediately. Flew back to Cinnabar and Scyther? Done. Welcome to the team, Scyther. I went to fight Erica now because part of this is still to complete the game. And it's here where I decided to flex on her with Missing Note. And then went back to Cinnabar Island to get the gym key to fight Blaine. Missing Note doesn't have good defense or special, and being over level 100 and going down to Stomp like that? Damn! Anyway, the next rival battle and all the fighting, once again, is super easy. Pulling off glitches has been the real challenge in this run, and I will say this, save states have been an absolute lifesaver. First Giovanni battle of this glitchy mess now in Silphco because we didn't need to get the Silph Scope to get through Pokemon Tower, and he's as easy as everyone else in this. Sabrina was no harder than anything else. Even with crappy defense, it is kinda cheating having a level 100 Missing Note on my team. Even though I refuse to get Gengar to level 100. Well, whatever. Stats. Yep, look, we'll chalk that up to stats. Also, getting through Brock with a level 100 Gengar that knows Nightshade is super trivial and boring at the start of the game. It's basically a one-hit for at least the first good portion of the game to everything. Little side note, encountering Missing Note gives you 128 of your 6th item slot. I did something different with that. Yeah, I'm still going to get rare candies and Master Balls, but can only get one of the Psychic TM, and I've got about 3 Pokemon that can learn it. So, 128 Psychics. When I got back to Viridian to fight Giovanni, I decided the first thing to do was the old mate glitch again. To see if I could get something glitchier than Scyther, and what I found... Just watch this. I got a level 80 M, and for context, the fact that it's level 80 is completely unintentional. It's due to the fact they used an odd number of characters, so I caught that to replace Scyther in a little bit. Oh yeah, and then it insta-triggered another battle with M, which turned into a Ditto, so I threw a ball at that, and that's in our box too. So welcome along, Ditto. Also, I found the Scrap Chief Trainer type here. And this is where I get the feeling that that wasn't the legit Oak battle. Aside from legit glitch battles, Pokemon being at level 70-something, they share a team. From what I know about the Chief type, it brings up the Scientist Trainer Spire and uses a team pulled from somewhere in memory, due to not having a team programmed. I was hoping to battle Oak at the end, but all I could get him to spawn in with was a level 6 Ivysaur, Magnemite named Trainer, and then Missing No would crash the game. I almost beat the Chief too, which I gotta say, in the mid-30s on all my team except Missing No, that's kind of crazy. Time for the final battle with Giovanni, and it goes about as expected. When you've got a Nidoqueen that knows Surf and Blizzard, a Gengar that knows Psychic, and a Mew that knows Psychic and Fly, this is like the easiest fight made 1,000 times over. Even getting to flex all over him with Missing No, who would have been the most nervous person to meet Giovanni because he's about 4 pixels to the right side of the screen. Do you remember M from, well, a minute or two ago? Well, it's time for this glitchy buggy mess to join our team, and I decided to give it a rare candy, and now we have Kangaskhan. So does that give more credit to the theory that Kangaskhan was meant to have a pre-evolution? Because to my logic, that would be a scrapped Pokemon index before Kangaskhan. I don't know. Pokemon geniuses, can you leave something in the comments, please? Rival 6. I mean, you can tell how easy this battle was because screenshot from my notes just says Rival 6. Normally I'll start the scripting within a couple of hours of finishing the run, just so it's all fresh in my mind. I could not remember a damn thing about this battle, aside from winning convincingly. Alright, so while I do Victory Road, you know how I've been saying every battle is easy? So, footage is missing, but I went to do the Elite Four and forgot to press record because I was distracted by Dragon Ball Super. Again! But I realised I wasn't recording at the start of the Bruno fight. It took up until Lance's first Dragonair to intentionally lose. So when I say this team is OP, this team is ridiculously overpowered. Like, I had to waste all of my power points for non-damaging moves, and I still had over half my team left. So yeah, that basically means what you think it means, and the Elite Four is actually easier than Brock. And the only reason why Brock's a problem is because of how underleveled we were at the time, given we could have a level 100 Gengar. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about this much, but there goes Laurelie. And Bruno. Agatha. Lance. And there goes the champion. And yes, I flexed my Missing Note on every one of them at every chance I could. I'm surprised none of these trainers want to know about my glitched mons, to be honest. I mean, Lance should, because bro had to do fucking Trainer Fly to get those 3 Dragonites. Like, come on. But anyway, the Elite Four should be more like the I beat 4 plus the champion. Wow, that really wasn't funny. Point stands though. So to end the video, I was going to battle Professor Oak here, but once again, I don't think I'm going to be able to get his legit team into red and blue unless I'm a technical genius. Unless there is a technical genius able to help in the comments. But I have something just as fun that I've been messing around with. Welcome to the Super Glitch. The super glitch has a very specific setup, requiring you to activate Train to Fly, encounter a Pokemon with exactly 194 special, and then returning once again to the route where you activated the glitch. You're probably wondering, how can I find a Pokemon with that exact special stat? It's not like I can encounter a Pokemon, check its stats. Well, I mean, you have Google, but I don't know if that'll work. Anyway, with rare candies and calciums, I've gotten Ganaga to a special stat of 194. And like, that's cool and all, but how does that help when it needs to be on the opposing Pokemon? Well, it's just ironic that after encountering that second missing node, we actually caught the other Pokemon required, but not that one. Long story short, the plan is activate Train to Fly, go to Fuchsia. I'm going to battle a trainer to get the menu back, because I'm not walking back to Vermilion City and spending the next 45 minutes of my life doing that. That gives us the pause menu back. Then after encountering a Ditto and having it transform into Gengar, we're going to fly back to Viridian and then head out through the north exit. Close the menu and, well, I'm just going to let this first battle play out with point 4 before I say too much else. Yeah, so, this is point 4, obviously. He's a glitch Pokemon as well, but depending on what happens, this does, well, can do heaps of different things. So, as you can hear, I actually have the in-game audio for this. When we are lucky enough to catch point 4 and add its info to the Pokédex, well, this happens. I can speed this up or slow this down, but for all intents and purposes, this game is stuck here. It's in a never-ending glitchy audio loop that I'm never going to escape from, and I'm not gonna lie, it kinda goes hard. So if we were able to catch this beautiful mess of a glitchy abomination and register it to the Pokédex, can we skip the Pokédex like with Missing No? Short answer is, while I reload my save state, yes. Instead of flying straight back to Vermilion City, as the Trainer Flag glitch is still active until I return to the route that I activated it on, if I catch a Magnemite and then evolve it into Magneton at level 30, go back, encounter the Ditto, allowing it to transform into Gengar, then heading back, when we catch point 4, it doesn't go straight into a glitchy Pokédex song that softlocks the game. Now it's time to have some fun with this abomination, and contrary to popular belief, this glitch is about as dangerous as encountering Missing No. So, if you want to do it, have fun. You'll notice, like how with Missing No knows glitched moves, point 4 knows TM28 twice, agility, and a big, sweet, fat nothing. That nothing is the move known as Super Glitch. We'll get into that in just a minute, but before I do, I decided to give point 4 some rare candies, which eventually it evolved into multiple Pokemon that aren't in my party, but doesn't actually evolve itself, which, odd, I know. But if these were legit evolutions, we'd have a bajillion Kangaskhan and Clefable by now, and game crash. Alright, back to the Super Glitch. Activating it in a battle can do a whole bunch of different things. To my understanding, it's more or less random. Sometimes it crashes the game, others changes the color palette, others we get sick remixes of songs from towns. But basically everything I try to do afterwards breaks the game eventually. What I was trying to achieve with the glitch move doesn't seem to be working though, which is kind of unfortunate. Alas, this is the glitchiest state I was able to get the game into without breaking. So yeah, that about does it for the red glitch run, but I'm getting ideas for something I can try in blue. even Yellow, even some other Pokemon games. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. I'm definitely doing this again. Roll Big Dick Ditto. I'm out of here. It's a
Big Dick Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? Transform the wrong such a big slug. Big Dick Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? PP up, no, he's got up. Big Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? Transform the wrong such a big slug. Big Dick Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? Big Dick Ditto. What? Trainer is me, he won't obey.